The MCU, the Marvel Cinematic Universe, is temporary, but I need to quit watching it. I need a break. And likely the same thing is going to happen to Star Wars and the DCEU. But best believe I'm going to watch the sequel to the Batman. Are you insane? Also, if Zack Snyder decides to come through with something from the Snyderverse, best believe I'm watching. But again, back to the main topic. For the MCU, yes, I need a break. After Thor 4, I'm going to stop watching, and I won't be back until 2024. I'm dead serious. I really share Jake's opinion here.
Like no, I mean, I'm excited about it, but also I mean, we're looking back on Jake pre-Infinity War. It's a completely different level. Now these are just movies that come out. It doesn't feel special for me anymore.
I mean, I thought No Way Home was special. Really special.
But I also would argue that was special, not necessarily because of the Marvel machine, but because of nostalgia brought in from the outside.
Look, I grew up loving Marvel and DC comic books, especially the big events such as the Infinity Gauntlet or 1985's Crisis on Infinite Earths. But this is the truth. I've never been the biggest fan of the MCU. Clearly, I love it, but I'm not obsessed and constantly throwing positives like most fans. I only started loving the MCU when The Winter Soldier happened, which is a great film. But sadly, the golden age of the MCU was from 2008's Iron Man all the way to 2019's Endgame. Because after that, and even a little bit before, there's been a huge quality drop-off. There's been 5 new films since Endgame. The only 2 that I thought were great was Shang-Chi and Doctor Strange 2. On the television front, I loved WandaVision, The Falcon, Loki Season 1. For God's sakes, what if Hawkeye and Moon Knight were awful? Literally terrible. Enjoyable moments can be found, but ultimately really low quality, visually and story execution wise. Every film and TV series after Thor 4, between then and 2023, all that content looks and sounds mediocre, boring, or just laughably bad. To me, okay? In my opinion, this is all my opinion. I don't care about the cheesy looking Miss Marvel. I hate the title She-Hulk Attorney at Law. It could have just been called She-Hulk. The CGI is shockingly not convincing or compelling. It just doesn't look good at all. It looks like a parody version of She-Hulk from some sequel to Shrek. I'd rather see the MCU losing their minds as opposed to having this crap shoved down my throat, okay? I want to see Spider-Man and Ghost Rider and the next Iron Man in a buddy cop kind of movie, okay? I want to see in deep space Silver Surfer and the Wolverine going on these insane psychedelic side operation missions with Doctor Strange or something like that, okay? I want them to lose their minds, okay? I want them to lose their minds, okay? Treading water. They're just dragging their feet through the mud, focusing on all this small scale, boring stuff that I don't care about. I kind of liked No Way Home, but the other 2 Tom Holland Spider-Man movies are trash to me. Utter trash. No personality, or they don't feel timeless at all. There's no beauty to them, especially cinematography wise. It all feels like some kind of meme AI robot generated, like some kind of AI just wrote the scripts for these Tom Holland Spider-Man films. I love Civil War, Infinity War, Endgame, Doctor Strange 2, The First Guardians, Iron Man 1, Winter Soldier, blah, 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 blah. I love some of these movies, no doubt. I love some of this content, no doubt. But I feel like the MCU is candy, and the quality, taste-wise, of these treats has drastically dropped off. I'm sick of the same look. The CGI is starting to look worse and worse. It just feels so fake and overbearing in that. I'm sick of underpowered characters. I'm sick of arguing. I'm especially sick of arguing about the mostly mid CGI throughout all 62 of these movies and series, however many of them there are. Honestly, I just need a break. When Rick Grimes left The Walking Dead, I was so heated with that show. And how I felt about that is how I feel about the MCU now. I mean, damn, Captain Marvel is so bad, and it's... So again, after Thor 4, I won't be watching anything MCU until 2024. I'd rather go watch 100 plus never before seen Criterion Channel films. I'd rather go watch way more independent filmmaking. I'd rather go that route, okay, than to keep watching anything relating to Star Wars, the MCU, or the DCEU from after Thor 4. Star Wars, DCEU, the MCU, it would just be so refreshing to just ignore all that and to pick back up in 2024. So that's what I'm going to do. At this stage, I have the ability to watch most things, series or films wise, early. I've become a critic. So why not? Let's experiment. And I really need to. I really need to. I really need to before I get sick and have a headache. But hey, what do you think?